If you're not a big NBA fan, you probably didn't hear of Tristan Thompson. He's far from a bad basketball player, but not so widely known like some of the league's stars. Anyway, his basketball skills are not our topic today, but his off-court skills. No, we will not talk about his very intense love life, but about his 2015 contract extension negotiation with Cleveland Cavaliers. Let's go! Hello guys, it's Žarko. Welcome to Cobblestone Negotiations, a channel where we discuss all aspects of negotiation. Tristan Thompson is a Canadian basketball player born on March 13, 1991 and was drafted 4th overall by the Cleveland Cavaliers in the 2011 NBA draft. In the first 2 seasons after his rookie season, he played all games as a starter, spending on average more than 30 minutes on the court, averaging above 9 rebounds and almost 12 points per game. However, when in the 2014 off-season Cleveland acquired LeBron James and Kevin Love, his status suffered. In that season he started only 15 games and spent on average about 4 minutes less than in the previous 2 seasons. His numbers were still okay, averaging 8 rebounds and 8.5 points per game. But were these numbers worth the maximum contract? The maximum amount that one player can earn depends on the years of experience. And in the range of up to 6 years of experience in which Thompson belonged, the maximum 5-year contract at the time was worth $94 million. Which is exactly the amount that Tristan and his agent requested. Of course, it's everyone's right to have a very high opinion about itself, and I find a high self-esteem a positive trait, especially in the context of negotiations. So, nothing wrong with that. Nevertheless, today we will try to understand what was his negotiation strategy in demanding the maximum money given his limited on-court contribution. To understand that, we need a bit of a context. With LeBron's return to Cleveland in 2014, it was obvious that they are going for the NBA title. In that season, they were only 2 wins away from the goal as they lost to Golden State. Lucky circumstance for Tristan Thompson's new contract negotiation was that Kevin Love suffered an injury at the end of that season. So Thompson got a bigger role in the playoffs. At the end of that season, Thompson would become a restricted free agent, which means that his current club, Cleveland, could match any other offer that he might have and keep him in the club. For a player to become a restricted free agent, his team must submit a qualifying offer to him, and that offer is an offer for a 1-year guaranteed deal which expires on October 1st, although it can be extended. If the club does not submit a qualifying offer, the player becomes an unrestricted free agent, which means the club cannot prevent him anymore from changing his employer. Anyway, early in the negotiation, Thompson and his agent Rich Paul set a very high anchor for this negotiation, as they demanded the already mentioned maximum contract. Moreover, as a plan B, Paul said that if the deal wasn't reached, his player would accept the qualifying offer of $6.8 million, and the next year Thompson would become the unrestricted free agent. So that was their BATNA, and they made it clear to everyone. Often it is not wise to make your BATNA public. However, in this situation, Rich Paul wanted with it to make some kind of ultimatum to Cavaliers, or maybe even to buy some time and prolong this negotiation into the fall. What's the most important for the outcome of this negotiation? It seems that Cavaliers didn't assess the situation correctly in the sense of who was the real decision maker here. Obviously, the club is the one that makes decisions, but it wouldn't be for the first time that the biggest star in the team had its say. I'm not saying that LeBron had the final word in this negotiation, but he did say that this whole negotiation was a distraction from the goal of winning the title. Moreover, he wanted Thompson on a team, and now after seeing LeBron's role in the Lakers, it's not hard to imagine that he did participate in this negotiation, from the shadows of course. Furthermore, with the smart tactic of prolonging this negotiation with every passing day, Cavaliers were in a more and more difficult situation. It was already October and they still didn't have a complete roster for the coming season, although it was clear they were aiming for a title. Therefore, in my opinion, to end this uncertainty, Cavaliers made a big compromise and signed with Thompson an $82 million 5-year deal, an unusually high amount for this kind of player, making him the highest paid bench player in the league. Of course, it's not just LeBron's role that was decisive, but the right timing as well. The year before, Cleveland was very close to winning the title, so this season, 2015-16, had to be theirs. Thompson knew that the club wanted to keep the same team, so he just rode the money wave that year in Cleveland. Namely, that year's salary cap was $70 million, and Cleveland ended up paying almost $108 million in total that year for player salaries, plus around $60 million in luxury tax for going over the salary cap, which was the second highest overall number in the league's history. Therefore, it was a perfect moment for Tristan Thompson as the Cavaliers were going for all or nothing that year. If you like this video and you have learned something, please like it and hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.